from the stories that you're telling, the stories I've heard from guys like Tommy Dreamer, so much more creative control in ECW. And there's been a lot of comparisons from AEW to ECW. You were an ECW original. How do you feel about the comparisons between AEW and ECW?
I know there's a lot of younger wrestling fans out there who get pissed off at me when I compare AEW to ECW. And I try to remind people on Busted Open every chance I get that if I compare AEW to ECW, it is the highest compliment I can possibly pay AEW. And it has nothing to do with the product. It has to do with the lightning they caught in the bottle with that relationship with their fan base. It's that sense of urgency that they've created for their fans to have to see their product, want to see their product.
Yeah.
Everybody in ECW will tell you the most important part of ECW, the most important aspect of ECW was our fan base. It was our fan base that made us so unique and so special. Wrestlers would go to war for Paul, and our fans would go to war for us. Look at how ECW fans took over Monday Night Raw. Look at how ECW fans took over Nitro. The ECW chant changed wrestling forever. There's a reason why people still chant ECW. This is not me waving the ECW flag 30 years later. This is me just acknowledging legit history. So yeah. I'll ask you, you're a fan of wrestling, right?
Right.
Why do people still chant ECW but don't chant the name of any other company?
Have they? I don't know if they've ever chanted WWF or WCW or any of those things. I think a lot of it's nostalgia. I think that a lot of wrestling fans saw a little piece of ourself in ECW. You know, I think that there's a lot of underdogs there, and I think that the everyman went, I could be like Spike Dudley, Balls Mahoney, Bubba Ray, whoever it is. I also think it's because it was taken away from us when we weren't ready. It's like when that girlfriend breaks up from you and you're like, what do you mean? I wasn't ready for this thing to happen.
But don't you see the same thing happening within AEW? Look Definitely. At Marko Stunt. That AEW fan base loves Marko.
Yep.
There's your Spike. You know, the AEW guys are some of the WWE guys who needed to flourish, or maybe guys and gals that weren't given an opportunity. So they are doing something very fun in the wrestling business right now. And the word fun is so key, because I believe it's what wrestling fans need. They need to have fun. At the end of the day, it really is entertainment. We could dissect is it a sport? Is it not a sport? Pro wrestling, sports entertainment. It's entertainment. And if you want to entertain people by giving them a sporting competition of wrestling, or if you want to do the bubbly bunch or the newly bro game or Otis and Mandy, it's all subjective. Some people love some stuff. Some people hate some stuff. Just the way a movie gets a great review and then it gets panned by critics. It's always going to happen. But within the world of wrestling, the idea is no matter what you're doing in that ring, you always want to be entertaining.
I guess what's so interesting to me about AEW, and you spent obviously a lot of time in TNA, you're currently signed to Ring of Honor. AEW quickly became the number 2 company in the world before they even had a match. Like if we were having the same conversation last year before Double or Nothing happened, they were already number 2. Like how were they able to leapfrog Ring of Honor and Impact like that?
Cody and the Bucks, while under contract for Ring of Honor, convinced Ring of Honor that they were going to do their own thing. And in 28 minutes sold out 11,400 seats. Do you need anything more than that? What was Ring of Honor's biggest house? Ring of Honor was the number 2, right? Behind the WWE. Yes?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So here come Cody and the Bucks, and they decide we're going to put on this show called All In. The most amount of tickets that Ring of Honor had ever sold up until that point, I believe was like New Orleans Supercard at the New Orleans Arena, something like, I don't know, 6,000, 6,500. Wasn't that Kenny versus Cody?
Right, yeah.
So they did 6,500 people. Let's call it 7,000 with comps. 7,000 people. And now all of a sudden, here come Cody and the Bucks. They do their own thing. And when I say their own thing as far as coming up with All In, booking the card, and things like that, they sell 11,400 in 28 minutes. You tell me who the number 2 is, perception-wise. It's impossible for fans to not go, holy shit, what is this? How? Who? When? Why? What?
Yeah.
Lightning in a bottle. And right then and there, those guys were off to the races. So, now listen, behind the scenes, Ring of Honor did help out, Cody and the Bucks with All In, from a production point of view. And there were a lot of aspects of All In that Ring of Honor, was very, very, instrumental in.
Sure.
But the average wrestling fan doesn't know that, nor do they care.
Yeah.
All they know is that Cody and the Bucks, 2 acts within Ring of Honor that we love so much, are doing their own thing. And in 28 minutes sold 11,400 tickets. And I saw naysayers all over the place. How could you possibly knock that? No other wrestling company ever, not ECW, no startup, no bootleg indie, no nothing, had ever done what they did on that night.
Would you be interested in making an appearance with AEW, if and when you're able to?
I get questions like this a lot about, hey, what do you want to do next? Or where do you want to go? You want to do AEW? You want to stay in Ring of Honor? You're going back to the WWE? I've done everything that I have wanted to do. There are not many, if anything, things left, places to perform, things to do on my bucket list. When I look back, when I look at the landscape of the wrestling business, I do see 1 or 2 things that really interest me, just because I know how the bully character would fit with a certain other character. So if it's meant to be in any of those companies, including Impact, maybe it'll happen. I have confidence in what I bring to the table with the character, no matter where I go. So it's a question of the people that I see that I could have a good story with, seeing it the way I see it.
Thank you for checking out this clip from my recent interview, and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel, CVV Clips. And as the name suggests, the clips from my longer conversations are going to live here. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on those little nuggets of goodness that we're going to have here.